Hey, come on. Come on. Hey. What? Here we go, here we go, here we go now. Hey. Let's chit chat, this is the show now. Come on. Bad black mama's gonna let you know now. Hey. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Come on. Let's chit chat, let's chit chat, hey. Let's chit chat, sis. Hey, what's up? Let's chit chat, let's chit chat, let's chit chat, sis. Hey.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the porch. Mel, what you doing? Because you was just looking like you was just staring.
Welcome to Let's Chit Chat, sis.
Right.
I was like, what you doing? Mel, you was just looking like this.
Something popped up in the middle of the screen. I'm sorry.
That's all
I
right.
know I'll be fucking up in the
Turn your
beginning.
porn
so I'm
off,
sorry.
Mel. Turn the porn off.
You said turn it off.
Right. Or turn the screen around. One of the
Okay.
two. Right.
Turn the screen
What
around.
do you want to see?
Are you looking at water black porn?
That's a
Right.
good one for the topic today. So how
Okay.
everybody doing today? We have some guests with us on the porch today. We have Patrick. Hey Patrick, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
Tell us a little bit
What
about
up, Patrick?
Well, my name is Patrick Jones. I've been a journalist for like 10 years, and I have two podcasts. One called Death Space Filling the Void. It's a show about grief and dealing with our own mortality. And the other one is called That Gives Me Anxiety, which is about different things that scare us and why they may not be as scary as we think.
Well, you might be scared after you
Okay.
do this, so you can be like, "That's what gives
Yeah.
you anxiety."
You're gonna add
Yes, sis.
Let's Chit Chat sis to that list. You're gonna be like,
Right.
this gave me anxiety.
Yeah.
But
No,
it
you guys
wasn't
are
bad.
also
It wasn't
welcome. This is
bad.
going to
It
be
wasn't
great.
bad. It wasn't bad. No, it wasn't bad.
Joy, how are you?
Good evening. I'm great. Thank you. My name is Joy. I live in Rhode Island. I'm a retired disabled veteran.
Mhm.
So mostly I just chill out during COVID. I'm gay, always been gay. I'm looking forward to talking about my relationships as a gay person.
Mhm.
Very few people that I've dated have been white, like less than a handful. And I've been dating for 56. I mean, I'm 56 years old, so I've been dating, 40 years, that's a long time.
Say 56,
Right.
you say 40. Okay, that's a good one. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
so if I started dating around 79, 80, 14, 15, 16,
Mhm.
that's right around when AIDS was coming around.
Oh, wow.
So being gay, there was a huge amount of negative attention on the gay community at that time. There was really
Right.
no way to slide under the radar if you wanted to be yourself in any kind of way, because it was very much an us or them.
Okay.
People who weren't gay made a lot of fun of people who were gay, and we lost a lot of people, and so that was a stressor right there. And then I went into the military, and that was a stressor because you're not supposed to be gay in
Yeah.
the military.
And Joy, just for reference time for the listeners on the porch, are we talking the 80s when you were talking about initially? Did I miss you say the 80s?
Yeah.
I don't know if you were talking about
Yeah, I
80s.
started dating about 79, 80.
And then the AIDS epidemic, that was like what, 80? That was a little earlier than
It was
80.
running up at that time.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
before we get into the meat of it, because we want everybody to do this. This is a really hot topic, y'all, because I think everybody's gonna have something to say, because interracial relationships, any type of relationship, is a relationship that we all have something to say about. Some people have never been in one, but of course, we're not living in a box anymore. We all know somebody who's in an interracial relationship. So, but before we get started, we don't want to remiss to talk about our question. This is something new for the porch, because usually I'm the crazy one that bring up something that everybody say, what the hell is
Tangent.
Steph talking about? And something, I done got off the internet, and then everybody joined in. So, we want to switch it up a little bit. We want to hear from, our listeners, for a question of the day, and say, hey, can we answer this question? And what are they feeling about the porch? So let's hear what the listeners, one of our listeners want to say. This is Letitia. So let's hear what Letitia has to say.
Hey, so look, I love to travel. That's one of my favorite things to do. I just want to know, post-pandemic or during the pandemic, how many of you all have really taken a vacation that you've enjoyed? I've been on two. I've had an opportunity to go to Vegas and I've had an opportunity to go to New Orleans. So I just want to know, are you all in the mindset of traveling? Do you feel safe? Do you think that this is something that should be done? I think it's absolutely necessary. What do you think?
That's a really good question. For me, I've been traveling a lot since I've been working, but I haven't traveled for pleasure. And I've been meeting a lot of people on the plane that have been giving me some anxiety. They don't want to mask up. They're behind you coughing. They're doing a lot of shit. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going anywhere for pleasure. I'm not willing to risk my life for it right now.
I thought the same thing. Mel. I did, because I look at a lot of different sites of vacation packaging, and then I just withdraw. I'm like, I'm not ready yet, because I have severe anxiety about being on a plane. That's probably my biggest thing, being on a plane. Because
damn, people don't want to wear their mask. They don't want to wear their mask. They're coughing all behind you, and it's like, what the hell? You know, stop that.
See, Ramel's also partly a liar, because she talks about people being fools who travel, but yet you beg me to come see you.
Yes, bitch, come see me. But you were
And this fool got on a plane.
Yeah, there's so much guilt with traveling.
I posted up. I didn't go anywhere.
Patrick?
Oh, I was saying, there's so much guilt with traveling now. Like, I spent most of the pandemic in a 750 square foot apartment. And so my girlfriend and I decided to go on this road trip because we didn't have to get on planes, because we were so afraid of getting on planes. But like the whole time we were just like, why? We needed to do it for our mental sake, but also we're like, who are we? You know, we could potentially be bringing COVID along state lines. Like there was like no one. I mean, there was a lot of enjoyment, but at the same time, we were just constantly kicking ourselves.
Did you wear a mask?
Oh,
when
yeah.
You went out?
Like just so much antibacterial cream.
Okay.
And,
responsible. Have a good time.
Yeah.
I felt much better after I
traveled.
got
Well, I was gonna
vaccinated.
say, I did. Oh, you bet. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You know, I've been vaccinated, so I did travel, but my anxiety was like, okay, what's going to be open? I don't want to go somewhere and everything's shut down. Like I can't do anything, you know? And I was like, okay, what's going to be open? So that part was a little stressful there in itself, trying to travel. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna mask up. I'm gonna continue to do what I have to do to try to strengthen my immune system. So, you know, I kind of come from that angle. But when they open things up, because I'm like, hey, my mental awareness is up to me. I got to go have some fun. I got to go travel. I got to go do some things, you know? So within safety, you know, that's the whole thing now, you know, it's just affected us all, that the process of being safe is what you have to take in consideration. But I don't know. I just don't concern myself as much about what others, if they're not vaccinated, if they're not wearing a mask. I'm thinking about JB and strengthening my immune system, and I'm gonna protect myself as much as I can, you know. But you know, so the stress of traveling was a little kind of like, oh man, you know. But it still was so much fun. I'm glad I did, and I'm ready to go do something else. You know?
Where'd you go?
Same here.
New Orleans. I went to New Orleans, man. I went down to New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans, you know. And I got to go down to Bourbon Street, man. You know. Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, let's go. Yeah, you know, I find the little locals. Yeah, right. Look, that was like, man, going down to Bourbon Street. It was like 10:30. He said they hopping and popping. So I said, okay. Then there's another young lady said, well, you may not want to go down there because they're not going to be wearing any masks, and everybody's going to be wide open, and everybody's just, you know, so you may not want to go down there. You know, I was like, we're going to Bourbon Street. You know, let's go. But it was wide open. I mean, nobody was wearing masks, you know, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, I was like,
hey, drinking. I mean, what are you gonna do? Pour it through the mask?
Exactly.
You put two masks on and split it in the middle, and you put the straw in the center.
You will find a way.
You gotta be a real drinker.
There's always a way.
So, you know, I just, but that part was, it was just a little of that anxiety with that. I was making sure, all right, what are y'all, everything open? I want to have some fun. I ain't have to worry about can't go
Yeah.
traveling and everything is closed, so.
Yeah.
Unless that's what you're going for, because that's what I did. I like the listener who posed the question. I also went to Vegas because COVID canceled my 40th birthday and our
Oh,
10-year anniversary, and just a ton
Mm,
of stuff was canceled. So we waited a really, really long time, and we finally
wow.
decided to plan a mini do-over in Vegas since we can drive there. So we packed up the girls in the car and we took them to Vegas. I sanitized the hell out of that hotel room. I got one with the jacuzzi in the room because I knew the girls were going to want to go to the pool, and I didn't want them to feel like, we're
right.
like trapped in here and can't do anything. And they still talk about that. We had a pool, a swimming pool in our hotel room.
Ah, that's great.
That's
Nice.
so funny.
But it
You
was a
came
break.
to Atlanta too, so don't
I
forget
did. I
that.
went to Vegas the year before that, but I did go to, that was mostly work. I traveled for work also. I'm the perfect person to answer this question because I own a travel agency. So I'm always sending people somewhere,
Somewhere.
but I did have to travel to Atlanta for work. And yes, the girls did fly with me. So they were masked and covered and wrapped all up, and they
Right.
did pretty well on the plane. But yeah, we did our best to make sure that we were protecting ourselves and also protecting the people around us. It was a lot. I
Yeah.
don't know when I will put those little people on a plane again. My husband and I are heading to Jamaica next month, so I'm
Oh,
ready.
wow.
All right. There you
Next
go.
month, let
But
me
you know
Yeah.
check my
what? Think,
calendar.
think about this. We all have to figure out some way to be safe, but bring back some normalcy somehow. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Being safe has to be incorporated. So I think that was a great question. We have to thank you, Letitia. We love that question, and hopefully
Yes, thank you,
all in
Letitia.
a friendly
Let me get your phone number. Let
really.
me get the
Done.
Okay.
phone numbers. Let me find out if she got a man.
I heard she does.
I like
Oh
her.
Hopefully
gosh.
we'll be in the friendly skies really soon, and the prices will go down with it. So, but let's jump into our topic for tonight: anxiety and being an interracial couple. So who wants to start off with their experience? Because first I'll go back and talk about my little TikTok experience because we talked about this earlier. But I told everybody I had this little routine I do at night, and my husband he always told me, get the hell off of that damn TikTok, come at night. That's why you always struggle in the morning to get up. So at night I look at Perry Mason, and then I play with TikTok at the same time. So I saw this really pretty black girl and this really really handsome white guy. They was dancing on TikTok. So I started reading the captions, and she was actually trying to find him because they were at some club or something, and they connected, but they didn't get each other's numbers. And I was like, wow, they just look so perfect together. And I'm not gonna say really
That's because he
perfect.
married.
They gel, but no, Jay. See, you wanted to
Always got some
comment.
shit to
You're one of
say.
the comments, okay? Because the comments was really mean and nasty. And when she actually commented herself, she basically said she was looking for him, but then she found him and they were going on a date. I was like, rah, rah, yeah, I'm so happy for you. And I just put a comment on there. They basically comment after me and called me a fool. I was like, wow, so hateful, where's the love? I mean, can we just like love people being in love and trying to make something happen? But I was telling everybody before we start recording, I was like, he was fine as hell too. And I said they just seemed like they just looked like they was enjoying each other. So, all blinders off, why can't people just look at everybody's relationship like that? And people enjoying each other and making it work, who should care? So that's just my thought about it. But who want to jump into the pool now and tell their feelings about it?
Interracial relationships.
Yeah, girl.
Well, I'll date any color. Don't do it, Kimmy. However, I have had some anxiety around it. And when I was younger, I had anxiety. I'd be like, he white with red hair, and the hair is a little harsh. I was really immature about it. And I'd see people looking at us a little bit different when we were younger, but times have evolved. So now I'm walking with a white man. I remember I was with a friend of mine. We were just friends recently, and and the white guys do a lot more than black guys sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, tell
And he
more.
would-
Tell more. Tell
Wait,
more.
Don't do it, Jay.
Get a mute,
You
Jay.
can't
Go
throw that
ahead.
out there
Tell
He
more.
told-
around
Tell
me.
more.
And that
he came to
have
town.
some
He's like, I'm gonna
specifics
visit.
to
He
back it up.
was taking me out to dinner. So we went out to dinner. We came back to his hotel. He didn't just try to get me to his room. He was like, let's go down. Let's go have a drink on the lobby level, and then let's go back outside. We went outside, and he had one of those little horse and buggy chariots ready to take us on the city tour. It was very nice.
Wow,
But this was the
Cinderella.
mean part. The
He
black guys
romanced
in
it.
front of the
He
hotel
romanced
was
it.
telling me, sis, you doing it like that? And I was like, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it, but I did have some anxiety around it. I felt uncomfortable, even though I had not felt uncomfortable all night. It wasn't until the black guys had something to say when we were getting in something that I thought was a great situation. They spoke up and said something, and I just felt weird. It just gave me a little bit of anxiety. It gave me a little bit.
Yeah, but that's a valid point, though, because it just brings it to I could just imagine bringing it to the limelight, because now they
Black guys stop hating.
Yeah, go get the horse and buggy or whatever, then we won't have to worry about that. Okay, all right.
Right?
Look at Jay. Look at Jay's face.
No, I'm saying, no, it's a good point. I mean, he had it like that, so that's good. He was a romantic type dude, and he's like, he can afford to roll out that thick red carpet. I mean, that's unfortunately I can't afford that plush of a red carpet. Mine might be a little stained and flat, but you're gonna walk on it.
See?
Still, I'm gonna keep you off the street.
But those
But-
curtains look good,
But I tell you, I have always only dated women in my race. I've never dated any other race of women. Now, I'm not saying I haven't ever had the experience, but I've never dated. But I did talk to a family member to ask. Yeah, I've never.
I wanted to ask that, but you know.
Dated. Hold up. What do you got getting it? I'm saying in a committed relationship. Let me break it down.
No, but you just slid over that one all quick. Like,
well, I mean, I'm thinking like, okay, I know I ain't the crunchiest tip in the bag, but don't date it mean committed now? Or that's gonna change too in this world. Everything changing in this world. So dated no longer means committed now?
No.
Is that what I'm hearing?
No. Committed means
just trying to
married.
get the details.
I date.
We said 2021 style, we not committed. I've never been
That's
in
a
a
whole
committed
different
relationship.
other topic,
Okay.
Jay. We talk about you.
No, I'm saying interracial. I'm
Okay.
saying, but I know my brother has been involved for 30 years. And he was sharing some interesting stories about really locations he was telling me. Like, for instance, him and his Sue, his girlfriend, sweetheart. I mean, just as sweet as she can be. But he said that they go certain places, they would not serve them. I was like, what? I never thought that could happen.
Go places.
Right?
Did they like go into a time machine? Like that happened in.
That's what I was surprised. Now, here's the thing.
In 2020.
But guess what? Guess what? So here's the weird thing, though, that don't surprise you. It was in the South. He said
Yeah,
New York,
I thought that happened in
Hawaii,
the
out
South.
west, they don't ever have a problem. He said,
No,
but
they're
the
not
South,
doing that down there because guess what? Because the South still cannot get past. There's a lot of those Southern ways. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just moved
Oh, you saying
from Brooklyn
Right,
to
right.
Charleston, and I've had more than one police officer start with, I'm not racist, but, and it's like,
see?
that's the
See?
setup for like, of
You
course,
have
what
to
you're
say that.
Anytime.
If you have to
Yeah.
say
Right.
that, get the camera
Right.
out.
Anytime you preface the question with that. So,
Yeah.
but that was the interesting thing that he was sharing with me. And then on the other side, he was like some Midwestern states, because my brother used to be a long haul truck driver. So they would go out on the road together. And he was saying some places in the Midwest were like giving him so much love and embraced him, had no issues that he thought like in Iowa, he was saying, or like Nebraska, places like that. So I was like, wow. So that was something that I just, I was just thinking about. He said that, and he said certain places he would go, he said, like some of the white men would stare at him. You know, you feel somebody looking at you, right? They just don't stop
Mhm.
looking at you. And they would keep staring at him till you he said he had to make eye contact with him finally so that they could show their displeasure before they would continue on. Isn't that something? I'm like,
Wow.
wow.
That's too much
Yeah.
energy.
That's just too
And he
much
was telling me that.
energy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that was like, he said that, he said he never had nobody want to get physical with him because my brother's 6'4", about 340.
You see?
Mm.
Because he's always, so ain't nobody ever thought. But he did say that there were times that he could tell, that they were, just wanted to create some kind of problem. But I was like, damn, wouldn't serve you? I was like, wow.
I've had
Yeah,
a
that's-
hotel call the police on me when I checked in with a woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've had the
What-
police come up and knock on the door and be like, what's the problem? Well, there's only wooden bed in this room. It's gay and
What?
racial. Yeah. It was in
Oh my God.
Henderson, North Carolina. We're out there. It was a joint task Air Force. I was in the military. So there were several branches there. And my girlfriend happened to be also at that. And we didn't live together. We lived in separate states. So her and I went and got a room one night. And next thing I know, here come the police. And, I'm having to say shit like Fourth Amendment and get out of my room, like crazy shit. But I mean, the people downstairs actually called the police because a black and white woman, my girl, she had a gap in between her teeth and a 4-inch fro. I mean, she was.
Oh, it's my cousin.
What's up? Tell her what's up.
Gap
I'd like
family.
to talk to her
Gap
again.
Cousin.
But I didn't even think about that in preparing for this until just now, because I've been through so many situations, and like you were saying, it's always where,
Mhm.
in the South, you can't do that.
That's where
Like-
mine happened.
Yeah,
You
I
just-
wouldn't try that. I wouldn't try it unless you got your insurance paid up. I wouldn't be trying all that stuff like that. It just
I had
It would be
North
a
from my
casualty.
hotel room.
I'm gonna try it because it's fun.
Like living
that-
dangerously.
It definitely still happens in the North. I'm a white man, and it's surprising when these people feel comfortable to like reveal themselves, like people
Right.
commenting on another person's relationship and like assuming that I'm gonna like go along with what they're saying. It's scary, man. It's real. Like anyone who hasn't experienced this, like I think it's important for people to hear that, probably a lot of white people who haven't experienced it to be like, no, this shit happens. Like this isn't made
Right.
up,
Exactly. Yeah. And exactly to your point, Patrick. I mean, we're not on the topic of racism, but y'all know I can talk for days about that. How but we're not going there. But here's an interesting thing my brother shared with me too, though, right? And he said that not only there's certain places would be white folks that are really uncomfortable. He said, but sometimes it was black servers wouldn't serve them.
Right.
What?
Yeah, 'cause
He was like, yeah.
we cannot
Oh,
make
tell
this
you.
about just about Caucasian
Yeah, he said-
because you know how black people
Yeah.
we can do
So
this.
yeah. So he was like, damn, really? So it again is how we have been oppressed. I mean, we should be the last people to ever try to be oppressing any damn body.
Body.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Not to, for real. Like,
Well, let
so,
me ask you guys, again, I'm white. Like, what do you think that stems from? Are these people like calling, in this case, your brother a traitor of some kind? Like, help me understand a little bit of like where that comes from.
Yeah,
I think that's the energy. I
Yeah.
really believe that that's
Yep.
the energy. Like when those guys were standing out in front of that building, and this was in Atlanta, I felt like they were like, sis, this is the best you can do. And I was like, that's not a fair question. And
Yeah.
you definitely don't want to know the answer. So I felt like it was that
Right.
kind
Not
of
right
like
now.
traitor
Yeah.
question.
right.
Like, why you being a traitor? Why can't,
Yeah,
it's 20 of
exactly.
us lined up here. So yeah.
Ah.
I get
That
that.
definitely
there's
isn't
a
a lot of
lot
my
of-
experience.
I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of stigmas out there. If we want to be honest about it, there's a lot of stigmas out there when we talk about interracial relationships. Even for people of color. When we see women with white men, you know what I mean? There's a certain perception that these white men are more on the elite side and they look a certain way and something like that. But when we see on the opposite side, we see the Black male with the Caucasian woman, we start the Black women will kind of look at it a little bit differently. You know, it's more of a judgment type of thing when it can't be just the relationship. Maybe they just hooked up because they like each other. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just not like that. It's starting to say, okay, we're going to start to grade and level these people and say, that's why we're going to put a reason why they hooked up. You know what I mean?
But here's the double-edged sword of it, though. Here's the crazy double-edged sword of it. It could be, say, a white dude that has adopted what's, considered the Black culture, right?
Yeah.
And he's accepted, got swag, all of that.
Oh, I know
Will
some of
he
them.
get that same kind of trader? You know what I'm saying? If he married his sister and everybody knows and respects him and everybody, you know what I mean? He got the card. He got the whole card and respect. So does he get that same kind of, and vice versa?
You talking about Paul Wall?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Or
Yeah,
Eddie
exactly.
Cipriani.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Eminem or whoever, whatever. I'm just saying, does that white person get that same,
Energy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Aren't we okay with that a little bit more?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's different. Yeah. It's like grading, like in the school level. You get different levels. Some people get big ass fucking Fs. You know what I mean? But you see that person over there with you, like, damn, she picked up that loser, you know what I mean? And blah, blah, it's, be honest, y'all, everybody says the same thing. They get graded and ranked, you know what I mean? Your ass don't want to be on the lower ranking side with that dude. But if you with a fine ass white man or something like that, somebody is going to be hating. We already know that, but you're going to get a couple passes. If you with somebody, compare, and let's just be honest, compare it.
Be honest. Be honest.
If you with somebody, they ain't got no job or nothing like that, and they damn sure on the opposite, they Caucasian or something, it's just the same thing. They still a no working ass person. You see what I'm saying? Just like a no working ass Black person. You know what I mean? They still
right.
But
sorry, they're still sorry.
Category for their asses. You see what I'm saying? It's just categorizing people. Like, I don't care. It is what it is. I think
when you're happy in a relationship with the person outside of your race, and people try to put anxiety on you, what should you do? Those who are dating outside the race, what should you do?
Drink a lot.
Tell them to mind their damn business.
Drink a lot.
Drink a lot.
Navigate.
Drink a lot. Smoke weed. Do those kind of things and live your happy life and tell them to fuck you, because I don't give a shit.
Smoke weed is a given, but you have to navigate. Because dating Black women, I could be in a room and be the only white person there. That's way more comfortable for me than being with my girl in a room with all white people there. Because they don't side eye and whatnot. You never know what they're cheesing at you. And you know what I'm saying? You have no idea what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But if you go over to the majority Black people, some people don't want to fuck with you, but when you look at them.
Right.
Right. You know what you're working with.
Yeah.
That's been my husband's experience. Like, he's been, completely accepted by all of my friends. I'm in a sorority. So the first time we hang out with my friends, he's the only white guy in a room full of Black people. And it's that way, all the time. And he's like, he holds his own. He's more comfortable because he knows what he's dealing with.
It's like you turn into their white person.
Yeah.
Like, I lived in neighborhoods where I was the only, like, literally, like, Ramel, this when I lived in East Point. Did you see another person in East Point?
I was scared for her, actually.
I'd be calling her up like, man,
that's a great point.
Man, my air conditioner got stolen, man. But it was like, she's like, that's what you get for going away for 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? but that's where I'm comfortable, and I've always been privileged enough to lean on the fact that they would take me in as their white person. She white, but she our white person. And that started when I was young in school.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
how about you, Patrick?
Wow.
Who just said that? Go ahead, Jay.
No, go ahead, Patrick. You're gonna.
Oh, well, on the other side, I guess it's just to state it plainly, it's just like life can be so fucking hard. We all are like carrying all this shit. I just never understood like why people choose to hold on to these like weight, because they're weights. They're weighing you down from being happy. That's like you have to look at other people's relationships and like give a shit at all. So I just don't understand.
Right.
It's hard to get into that mind. But on a positive side, I've had people hit on me who are not white with like a line like,
okay, tell us a little bit about what they do.
I had this woman in New York City come up to me and go, so do you ever fuck non-white girls?
He's down with the swirl is what they want to really.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, yes. I mean, it was just so forward and hilarious.
Sign me up.
That's awesome.
Did you get anxiety when she came up and said that?
No, that was a beautiful thing. That's fucking great. That's like what you wish would happen, right? Like when you
go ahead. So Patrick, I mean, I don't know if your girlfriend's listening, but did you go ahead and smash?
What the fuck?
I don't know if she's listening. Well, actually, as of yesterday, my girlfriend is now my fiance.
Congratulations! But then you
thank you. But yes, I did smash.
Congratulations.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah, this is life before, y'all. He ain't cheating. This is life before.
No. That was before.
Look, don't listen to Jay. I'm telling you right
What you talking about? Patrick, we good, man.
Yeah.
That was good move. Good move.
Yeah,
Good move.
That was awesome, though. But
Smart.
You know, that just tells you, it's an open market. It's free game. If the world was a whole bunch of us in it, or just us, we would get along well, and we wouldn't have all the issues that we have right now. Anybody else has any other comments they wanted to add to it? Because I think this was really a good episode. We touched on a lot of different things about interracial relationships. Jay?
It's funny. I just will say that it was, I'm an OG, y'all. So we used to say this, like Joy would say, she down with the brown, and that's when exactly.
Know that
she down with the brown. She cool in the gang, and that's what you were saying, and it's true that I've noticed that anyone that I know growing up, there's it's like my sister-in-law. I call her my sister-in-law because they've been together so long. She get nothing but love and acceptance from us as a family, and that's what all of us need. That's what we all should be trying to do, is love each other while we still can for who we are, not the choices we make.
Absolutely.
That's what's most important. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
Aisha?
That's good stuff. I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I'm just of that mindset, like mind the business that pays you. I'm so fortunate that I was brought up in a family where we were taught to love and respect all people from all walks of life. And I've carried that throughout my whole entire life. I try to make sure that that's the way that my children are raised and what have you. And when it comes to, the external hate and whatever, I'll be quick to tell somebody, try Jesus, don't try me. My choices. So I've always been that way. I've never felt like I've had to defend my choices about who my husband is and who I love in any capacity. And I extend the same respect that I would want to everybody, my friends and the people that I don't even know. Who you are, who you love, who you choose to be with, what you choose to do, that takes nothing away from me and who I am and what I'm doing. So I can, let you do your thing and I do my thing, and, it doesn't have to be the same thing. And I wish that more people would, take the time to focus on their business and not the business of other people. There's more than enough love out here for all of us if everybody just mind their damn business.
Aisha, that's right. I love that, Aisha. You say you in a sorority?
I am.
Oh, okay. What sorority?
Sigma Gamma Rho.
Oh, okay. So I know your sorors be like, girl, do he got any brothers?
All the time because of who he is and how he carries himself. He does, but they broke the mold.
Is it true what they say?
They damn sure broke the mold with Alex.
That's all I'm gonna say. Stupid. Mel, what's your thoughts?
Look, I'm out of the anxiety era now. I'm just dating freely, any color. I'm enjoying life. And I don't really give a fuck
Gotcha.
who looks twice or says something. I don't care anymore.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
That's what I'm talking about, Mel. Joy.
Oh,
That's where I'm at too. You know, I'm still on the struggle because I'm still single. So I'm not settled into one of these little comfortable arrangements yet. But you know, I'm older now. When people just give me shit, you know, I was telling Romelda before, I look at them and be like, you're not important. Like
That's
you,
right.
you're just not.
Right.
And like I used to get so upset about shit. You know, I got PTSD up to my eyeballs. And the way I mostly calmed down about that, besides 5 years of therapy, was just really realizing that I could give a fuck about what they think. So,
woo, come on now.
That is so
Right,
true.
Joy. Yeah,
Patrick.
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, I think the other side of this is I think that people can change. I really do. Maybe that's hopeful thinking, but I think it's important that when you hear someone admit to a negative thought about another couple, or just like being racist in general, like calling that shit out, not just ignoring it and being silent. It's important to shut that shit down and let people know that that's not going to be okay, because you know it's 2021 and fuck, enough is
Right.
enough.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick.
Right.
Salute you, man. I love
You know,
people
I say
saying that.
in closing,
so
you know,
true.
if we want to control our anxiety, we know one thing is that we can't control other people. We gotta live our own fucking life at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
I
You
hear
know,
that, yeah.
do what make you happy. You know, if you in a relationship with somebody other than your sex, or I mean, you know, nationality, whatever makes you happy, fucking do it. Just do it. Don't let that consume your life, you know, because we are people, and at the end of the day, we all gonna die the same way we were born. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference. So if you with somebody, black, white, Chinese, Mexican, or whatever, it does not even matter. If they make you happy, they treat you with respect, they, you know, y'all have something going on that you feel happy with in that relationship, that's the only thing that is really important. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, because they are not in your relationship. And I think I learned that early on in life, because when you listen to what other people say and take their judgment of your partner, most likely that relationship is not going to last, because you put more stock in what somebody else said, and then that means the communication is not there with that relationship. And number two, you're not even thinking about what is important in your own life and what's making you happy. That's called self-care. When are you caring for your own self? So that's really important. So at the end of the day, that person could be fucking psychedelic. It doesn't even freaking matter. It doesn't matter what somebody else say. Anxiety comes from a lot of times, I think, that you are overthinking and having the expectation of somebody else. And that never works. That never works. And I think you have to like kind of, you know, choose your battles. My battle is not giving a hell what other people think. And then that's not being said in like a nasty way. Because you know how when people say, I don't give a shit about other people, and they just do nasty, raunchy shit to people. No, I don't really mean it like that. That means that your thoughts is not a priority to me when it comes to my happiness. That doesn't mean it has to intersect with your priorities. You got to do what's going to make you happy, and I'm going to do what's going to make me happy. So this was a really, really good episode, and thank you, Joy. Thank you, Patrick, Jay, Aisha, of course, Mel. Yeah, this was an awesome episode. Join us again next Wednesday on the porch. You can always catch us on our social media page, Let's Chit Chat Sis, on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. We will be here to bring you the hottest topics as usual. So meet us on the porch next Wednesday. I said Sunday. I'm so used to that. So take care. We'll see you then.